1 week in, how are you feeling? I'm excited. We have been talking about fundamentals, we have been talking about you, and now we are ramping it up. I'm gonna get a little more pushy with what you're gonna be creating because you've done your work and now it's time to grow. So today we are talking more about community. So how to build more community, how to build some engagement, and really a lot more about the community we're building. So I think it's super important that you've gone through and you figured out who your ideal people are, because that's who we're talking to, that's who we're bringing in. You figured out who you are and that's who you're speaking as, and now we're really going to build some community. So you got to think about your Instagram community is not just who's following you, but who you're following. I know, lots of people don't think about this, but the time you spend on Instagram is very important, because Instagram can either make you feel inspired or awesome, or it can kind of make you feel like crap if you're comparing yourself to people and being negative. Something that I had to do with my Instagram, you don't have to do this, but I challenge you to do it, at least for a week or two, is I took all my notifications off of Instagram, so I wasn't jumping on there 100 times a day. And also I moved the app from my home screen way into my apps. So if I want to open Instagram, I gotta go down to all the list of apps and click on it, which maybe doesn't seem like much, but that extra step has stopped me from the mindless scrolling a lot more. This has made me a lot more productive, but it also has stopped some of that negative just scroll, and then you're like, oh shit, I should have been doing other things and I was stuck on Instagram. So like we said, Instagram can be good or it can be bad. What my challenge today is follow, unfollow. No, I'm not telling you to follow people then unfollow them to get more likes. Don't do that. That's yucky. What I am telling you to do is I want you to honestly go through your feed, and I have a challenge for you. I want you for maybe a week, maybe 1 day on Instagram, when you are on there just scrolling through, looking at what's posted, comment on every single piece of content you see. Yes, every single one. Except for ads, you can skip ads. So if you see something, you comment on it. And if it's not a hell yes for you, then unfollow them. That might sound super extreme, but I promise you that curating your content that you view is also going to help you build your community, because it's going to make your experience on Instagram more inspirational, less yucky, and a lot less cringy. If you're consuming stuff that is uplifting, you're gonna have way more of that energy to give to your people. It might sound backwards and it might sound kind of weird, and you don't have to, but I definitely encourage you to. But what you do have to do today is unfollow 5 accounts that make you feel like crap. If there's somebody you've been following, even if they're a family member or an old friend who absolutely every time you see that stuff you go, ugh, unfollow them right now. And then you're gonna go find 5 people, preferably in your industry, it doesn't have to be, who inspire the crap out of you. And I want you to search them out. Search photographers, search yoga instructors, search car dealerships, search whoever is in your industry. Find some people who actually you think, holy crap, this person's inspiring, look at that, and follow 5 of those. I like to do this almost every day, because I want to curate my feed so that it matches me, not just who's following me, but who I'm following, because it really matters. What you take in, what you put out, it all matters, especially for your spirit. You don't want to be following stuff that makes you feel yucky. Come on, that feels gross. You know it. So today's homework, we're going to be using a feature of Instagram you might not have known how to use before, but it's very exciting. So when you post a reel, yes, today you have to make a reel. After you've made the whole reel and you've written your caption, there's a little section where it says tag people. If you press on that, you can have the option to tag people, or you can invite a collaborator. Now, you say, what is this? What is a collaborator? It sounds so out of my league. It's not. It's just another person. Cool, right? So what it does is when you then post that reel, it posts on their page and your page. And then all the views and comments go towards both of your accounts. Cool, right? I know. So what you're gonna do is you are going to approach someone in your group for this. You're gonna approach somebody in your industry, you're gonna approach a friend, you're gonna approach someone new and be like, hey, I have an idea for a collaboration reel. What do you think? Even if you do the work, right? Because you don't want to be like, hey, I have this idea and I'm doing this thing and I want you to do a bunch of work. They might be like, bug off. But especially if you're doing like a brand collaboration. So maybe you have a product you want to show off. You can be like, hey, I'm going to be doing a reel about your product. I'm going to invite you as a collaborator. Would you mind accepting? And then we can both benefit. Pitch it to them. You're going to need some practice pitching if you're going to do this more often, because trust me, it's a very great way, especially if they have a really good following. If you make a juicy piece of content, that's free content for them. And you're both going to be benefiting, especially if they have a nice, big, engaged community. It's going to be showing all of your stuff to those people too. And then Instagram obviously is going to suggest you to them more often because they already liked your stuff. It's a really great thing. And I promise it gets a lot of juicy engagement. So my last collaboration reel was about double my average reel views. And that's really good for them and for me, right? Right. So if you're wondering who to pair with, you might have to pitch one or two people. Somebody might say no. That's okay. It's all a process, right? So it could be a previous client. Maybe you have a photo of them doing your workshop and you say, hey, I'm going to invite you as a collaborator. They might not be fancy or anything like that. We're just trying it out, right? I like to do this, especially when I'm showcasing my clients' work, so that it shows up in both our feeds. Boom, boom. We both get the exposure. Off we go. So that is your assignment today. If you have trouble with it, send me a DM. I know you're going to crush it. And if you want to do one about how you're doing this amazing course called Spark the Creative and add me as the collaborator, you can do that too. But I want you to try pitch someone else first. Okay? I'm super excited. You're doing really good. Make sure you tag me in every content you make for this and that you're using our hashtag Spark the Creative so we can all help each other out. Have a beautiful day and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.